So it has been a fascinating journey for you so far, from a successful businessman to being a spiritual teacher.
My journey evolved. I don't know how, what is the magic, but 25 years of success in business. On the one side, a faith in Lord Shiva. On the other side, we built 2 ashrams for taking care of destitutes from the street.
Even in my life, only after I came to Advaita that everything made sense. Until then, it was all about faith and believing in some things, but this was very logical.
Advaita is not possible without Dvaita.
Yeah.
How can we meet God?
Yeah.
Who is God? Where is God? God is inside you. God is a supreme immortal power. I call it SIP, S-I-P.
The non-duality is the foundation of Sanatana Dharma. At least I look at it that way.
Om Namah Shivaya. If you say Om Namah Shivaya, it is duality. But if you say Shivoham, Shivoham,
Non-duality. Yeah.
not duality.
When it comes to the spiritual path, there should not be a belief system. That I agree.
The only way to God realization is self-realization. Aham Brahmasmi does not mean I am God. Aham Brahmasmi means I am nothing. Only God is.
Only God exists.
Only God is.
Yeah.
Only God is.
I think within Sanatana Dharma, within this culture that we are in, the spiritual aspect was already built into it. So that was how the society was structured, at least back in the days.
Spirituality is a science of the spirit. रामावध में काशी में शिव कान्हा वृंदावन में दया करो प्रभु देखूं इनको दया करो प्रभु देखूं इनको हर घर के आंगन में राधा मोहन शरणम. A truly enlightened person sees G-O-D in a D-O-G. A truly enlightened person sees God in everything. And God as SIP. He is nothing.
Namaste everyone. Today we have with us AiR, a spiritual mentor, author of more than 70 books, a singer and a philanthropist. Also a happiness ambassador. What a beautiful title that is, a happiness ambassador. In this podcast, we will learn more about him and his life, and also we will uncover the nature of reality and spirituality. With that, Namaste, sir. Welcome to the Advaita Decoding Reality Podcast.
Thank you, Sujan. Thank you.
Yeah. Before we start, I'll just mention you a small story. So, when we were young, our parents were, they used to take me, my brother, my cousins to Bangalore, and we used to visit Kempfort. So, I have a lot of experiences there, and that amazing toys and the games and the huge Shiva, that statue and all that. I still remember the glimpses of it, and I was, I didn't know that it was all from you. When I was, reading about you, I learned more about that. So I just wanted to say that, just to mention, just to start with your story. So it has been a fascinating journey for you so far, from a successful businessman, from a developer to being a spiritual teacher. So just take a few minutes to talk about your story before this. What was life like before all this?
So, Sujan, like you rightly said, people know my life as the life of kids camp and camp fort.
Yeah.
And it's good that you saw the Shiva temple.
Yeah.
And I was praying to Shiva. I was praying to Shiva for 40 years and kept on praying. And my bhakti was so strong that my bhakti ultimately became bhakti yoga. And I evolved from that journey of Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya to Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. So yes, the journey, I always tell people this, that my first 15, 16 years were just years of a child. Then it took me 25 years, 2.5 decades of success and success from one peak to another peak. And I thought that success is happiness. And I went on going from one peak of happiness to a higher peak, and one Maruti car to Mercedes and to limousine, and you keep on having more pleasure and pleasure. And what you think, you start to believe that this is what life is.
Yes.
You start thinking that success is happiness. But in reality, I realized after 25 years that success is not happiness. I mean, I realized that, it was 25 years that it took me to go on a talash, go on a quest. My guru, he made me realize that there's a deeper meaning, there's a deeper purpose. And so therefore, 25 years was just more money, more success, more achievement. That was life all about for 25 years. And then one day I shut my business because I got a good, I was working so hard, and I realized that life was more than that, just making money. I started doing humanitarian work. I started doing, I built this temple of Shiva, which came out of the blue from nowhere, from my faith in Lord Shiva. And then, and then it happened that from nowhere I got a flash from Shiva that built a Shiva statue, and there was no money, there was no land, but there was a vision from Shiva. And for me, Shiva was everything. For me, my bhakti, my faith, going to the temple, the Sringeri Shankaracharya came and inaugurated that the statue, and there were millions of people who came. So all I'm saying is that my journey evolved. I don't know how, what is the magic, but 25 years of success in business. On the one side, a faith in Lord Shiva. On the other side, we built 2 ashrams for taking care of destitutes from the street. Hundreds and thousands, tens of thousands of people we must have picked from the street, and we fed them and clothed them and put them back on their feet. So this is the background to my story. 25 years from 16 to 40 was the journey. Then I shut my business. I shut my business, and for about 5 to 8 years, 5 years, I was just traveling around the whole world, discovering Iceland and Finland and Greenland and New Zealand, and kept on going till I went to Antarctica. And in Antarctica, I was playing with the penguins, and my life was blissful. I mean, people would look at me and say, "Your life is so beautiful, what more do you want in life?" But then I realized that, no, my guru made me understand there is a purpose. My guru made me understand that there is a deeper purpose, there is meaning. And then I decided to go on a talash. I went on a quest, I went on a search, and I got an awakening. People think to get an awakening is something very mystical and magical, and they think that, to be enlightened is something non-human. No, it is only human. It is only a human being who can be enlightened. And every human being has a right to be enlightened. So with that is the background, I went on a search. I bought hundreds of books from Ramakrishna Mission, from Chinmaya Mission. I bought all the books of Swami Sivananda, Divine Life Society. Whether it was Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, read the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, went to Adi Shankara's texts in detail, Viveka Chudamani, Aparoksh Anubhuti, Atma Bodha, Tattva Bodha. I went through hundreds and thousands of texts and books. And suddenly on the 31st of August 2014, I got that spark. So that is the background to that spark, where I got that, what in your words, since your channel is called Advaita, that spark which makes us realize the non-duality, which makes us realize the oneness between me and the divine, that me and God are not separate, we are one. That was the realization on 31st of August 2014.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So let's come to that exact point of realization, right? So I'm very fascinated with the concept of enlightenment. Of course, studying about that in scriptures and reading it from books is different, and experiencing it firsthand is very different. So, coming to that exact point of enlightenment, how was that for you, and how was life right before that and after that? How did life change?
So, Sujan, when we get knowledge, we can get knowledge in a college. You can go and you can read a book and you can pick up knowledge, correct?
Yes.
So I read. What did I read? I read Tattva Bodha. I read that this body has got a brain, a kidney, heart, lungs, blood, bone, tissue. I read all these things. 5 layers of the body, Annamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha. We read. I got all the knowledge. I had knowledge. What is the knowledge? This body will die.
Yes.
Okay. When this body dies, why will my family burn the body? Because I am not the body. The family understands I have left the body. Correct? What do people say? He passed away. So, got the knowledge. First, there was all pieces of knowledge. I am not the body. Then I tried to find mind. I did so many studies of Drig, Drisya, Viveka, the seen, the seer, this is the object, this is the subject. I did all the studies. I got the knowledge. But on the 31st August 2014, one Sunday morning, I took a flight from Paris to Bangalore. I put all those realizations. What realization? I am not body, I am not the mind, therefore I cannot be the ego. I am the soul. What is Atma? Atma is S-O-U-L, spark of unique life. Then who is God? Where is God? Is God an old man sitting up in the sky above the clouds, long white beard? How when we are children we are taught the lie that God lives in the sky. So all these pieces of knowledge, there were some realizations that I had over the talash. I used to go on retreat before 2012 and 2013. I had some knowledge. For example, anybody can, you and me are talking, anybody can listen. What is the problem? It's understandable. It is not a difficulty.
Yes.
But on that day, on the 31st of August, what they call that aha moment, I got that awakening. What is that awakening? OMG. Oh my God, I am not Ravi. I am not Ravi. I am the Atma in Ravi. I am Atma in Ravi. Atma in Ravi. As I kept writing, I am AiR, air. Now when this realization came, what's that feeling? You fool. The feeling came, hey you fool. What are you doing? What are you wasting your time? Next morning, not after 2 days. Next morning, 1st September 2014, I shut everything. I said, I am not doing. I will not sign check. I will not run business. I will not do it. Why? This is called awakening. Awakening is that moment. Then when you awaken, then there's a transformation. Awakening means the moment when that worm, that's like a caterpillar, that's crawling, the moment you become a butterfly, your wings are open and you're flying, that feeling that I am no more a worm, it's over. Yes. That is the kind of feeling. That feeling. And it's not that, it's not a feeling of being superhuman. It's not a feeling of ego becoming blossoming or, no. That realizing that I am nothing. Realizing that I have become one with the divine. That flash came to me, Aham Brahmasmi. That flash came to me, Neti Tattvamasi. All this I read before. Yeah. But I could not put the pieces together. I always, out of my 82 books, one of the book is called the Spiritual Jigsaw Puzzle. So it was like in the flight, Air France flight AF192, I was putting the pieces of the puzzle in a piece of paper. I was writing. Suddenly, Sujan, suddenly when you put all the pieces of a puzzle together, suddenly what happens? Oh, you see the picture?
Yes.
So the picture emerged. What is the picture? Not this. You are that.
Yeah.
That picture, that moment, that spark, that feeling of awakening, that ananda, that bliss came in that moment.
And it is such a fascinating thing, right? Because even before that moment, you had already understood everything. Obviously, most of the texts that you
Yes.
mentioned, Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, Aparokshanubhuti, Viveka, all this I have studied. So technically, you understood everything even before that moment. And the same body, the same mind, everything was there even before that, and the same thing continues, the same knowledge continues. But yeah, I know that it is very difficult for the mind to understand what enlightenment is. But I was wondering what exactly shifts there, or what connection happens in that moment, so that all this conceptual, intellectual knowledge becomes experiential in one moment. So, yeah.
So actually, it's like this, Sujan. See, you are completely clear of what we are talking. This knowledge we have got.
Yes.
But it's like, it's like putting water in a refrigerator. The refrigerator is chill. The water is in the ice tray. We have put it. But that water, there is no crystallization. The moment that water has crystallization, it is no more water. It becomes ice.
Yes.
So the knowledge, when the knowledge goes through that transformation, there is realization. The problem is people have to understand the difference between knowledge and realization. Knowledge is knowledge. Knowledge is not realization.
Yes.
So you can be a jnani, you can start with jigyasu, mumukshu, then you can be a yogi. But to get to that level of a Buddha, to get to that level where you become a Jivan Mukta, no, that awakening, that spark has to come. So you said very interestingly, the mind does not understand the realization. Something you said, I don't know about the mind.
Yeah. Like mind
Sujan,
cannot conceive what enlightenment is what I think. Yeah.
No, sorry to say, the mind is stopping the enlightenment.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because the moment you are enlightened, then there is no mind.
Yeah.
The mind disappears. The mind is blocking.
Yes.
The mind is telling you are Sujan. The mind is telling, how can you be God? The mind is telling, you mad fellow, are you mad? You tell somebody, I am God. They tell, pagal, you mad fellow. God, Krishna is in Vaikuntha, man. What you are talking? How can you be Krishna? Are you crazy? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So then when the realization comes, many people ask me, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, you are God. I say, no, Aham Brahmasmi does not mean I am God. Aham Brahmasmi means I am nothing. Only God is.
Only God exists.
Only God is.
Yeah.
Only God is.
Yes.
What I appear to be is not me. I am nothing, but it's like the ring. The ring appears to be, but there is no ring. Only gold is.
Yes.
If you remove the gold, then where is the ring? Then there is no ring. Since you've studied Vivekananda, I think he has also given this example.
Yes.
That the ring is only a manifestation of gold.
Yeah.
You and me, we are manifestations. But there is no realization. Sujan, 99% of this world don't want to even listen to this podcast.
Yes.
They are not interested. For them, they don't want enlightenment. They want entertainment.
Yeah.
For them, entertainment means pleasure is happiness. Now, pleasure is not happiness. They are not even starting the talash, the quest, the search. Many people, I'm writing my new book. My new book is called Spiritual Initiation. Many people, they come and tell me, Guruji, will you do initiation? I say, what is this initiation you want to do? No, many gurus, they will touch the head, then they will give secret mantra in the ear, then we are initiated. I said, what is so great about being initiated? You can initiate means to start.
Yes.
Anybody can start the journey of God realization, right? So this is, so just to conclude your question, knowledge, anybody can have.
Yes.
Realization, 1% who go on a quest, of that 1%, I think Vivekananda also says, only 1% gets the realization.
Yeah.
So 1 in 10,000 will get the realization. And 1 in 10 lakhs will ultimately, of course this is some numbers cannot be exactly proved.
Yeah.
But 1 in 10 lakh people may be liberated from this samsara, this maya, this leela or bhoga. It's like that.
But the good thing about this pursuit is, in our community, we create content around all this a lot, and the more people go into it, the more I go into it. Even keeping enlightenment aside, just the pursuit itself will give us fulfillment. Understanding this reality more and more, understanding what this ego is, and going beyond this ego, just by that journey itself is obviously more fulfilling than what I used to do before. So yeah, at least that fulfillment is there in the journey. But I think that absolute fulfillment is possible through that enlightenment.
Sujan, yes and no, Sujan. See, let me say, the people who are only partly in this journey, then they are neither here nor they are there, Sujan. So what they are doing, Sujan? So first, at one point, the samsara is pulling them.
Yeah.
Samsara is telling, come, let's go for a movie, let's watch match, let's buy a new mobile phone. One direction we are going.
Yeah.
Then when they are coming on the spiritual path, then the friends are laughing at them. What man, you fool, you are doing this. No doubt, see, when you start with meditation, contemplation, even if there is no realization, that will give you peace.
Yes.
And peace is the foundation of happiness. So no doubt what you're saying is 100% correct.
Yeah.
Pleasure is not happiness. Pleasure is ephemeral. Pleasure is momentary. It will come and go.
Yeah.
But eternal bliss will, forever it will flow. But the intermediate, what you spoke, that pursuit of enlightenment is fulfilling, but we do not even experience 1% of the ananda that comes from that Satchit Anand, from being in that state of awakening. That of course, I think we must give it. It is not a matter of whether you can be enlightened or not. You can.
Yes.
Anybody can be enlightened.
Yes.
Anybody. If a person says, I will not take no for an answer. Prabhu, 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 I want God, I want God, I want God. If the pursuit is passionate,
Yes.
you will be enlightened, according to me.
Yeah. Swami Vivekananda also says, if you show the amount of interest to spirituality that you show to your business, to your career, that's sufficient for you to take to enlightenment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is not a high tech. It is not a complicated matter, no, Sujan.
Yeah.
It's not that you need to have wings like a bird to fly up to the moon. No, it's nothing.
It's my own nature that I'm pursuing.
Yeah. It is the ability to go, what Buddha said, apodipo bhava. Buddha said, go on that inner voyage. What Ramana Maharishi said, Nan Yar. Find out, who am I? Tell me, why is it so difficult? You know it. Why is it so difficult to understand I am not this body? When I was born, 9 months before my so-called birthday, there was no body. Where was the body?
Yes.
This body is keeping on changing. Why is it so difficult to realize? We say my hand, my ear.
Yeah. I think for me at least, when I contemplate on this, when I study this deeply, when I listen to some deep lectures, and at that moment, the momentary glimpses are there. Obviously, if I sit in meditation and look at what this ego is, the ego vanishes. There is nothing called as Sujan. Like it's all made up that we can understand. But to sustain that, but again, once we wake up and once we get involved with the world, again the mind is active and there are thoughts. So sustaining that is the question.
No, so there is a method. The method, Sujan, is this.
Yeah.
See, suppose you are so keen on this subject. Now, what happens is we remain in a state of yoga. Now, people think yoga means asana. People think yoga means pranayama. No. Even Patanjali has clearly told, yoga is niyama, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So even Patanjali, who has brought about this asana and pranayama, explains, if we want enlightenment, we must remain in a state of yoga. So Sujan, if I go from yoga, bhoga, bhoga, yoga, yoga, bhoga, bhoga, I cannot be enlightened. Just to give you an example, if I put water in the fridge, If I switch on the power, I off the fridge, I on the fridge, I off the fridge, I on the fridge, I off the fridge. Will ice ever be formed?
No.
Ice cannot. You make cup of tea. You keep tea there, you on the stove, you off the stove, you on the stove, you off the stove. The chai cannot be made. The challenge for people, even Vivekananda speaks beautifully on this, how to remain in a state of yoga. How to spend some time in dhyana yoga, meditation, then go to bhakti yoga, devotion, if you are a bhakta. Go to karma yoga, do action, then go to jnana yoga, be on watching podcasts, be reading books. I discovered the fifth yoga, the yoga of manifestation. I call it prema yoga. Prema yoga means how to love God. People want to love God. They think by bhakti they can love God. No, bhakti is not prema. Prema means how you love your beloved. Today, if you have a girlfriend, how you are madly in love with that girlfriend. Can you be madly in love with God? So what I discovered, imagine you treat your girlfriend not as a premi, but as a devi. If you see your girlfriend not as a girl, but as a goddess, if you see the goddess and you treat her with divinity, then you remain in yoga, not because you love the skin. You love the divine that dwells within. So Sujan, I was telling you, if we remain in this state of yoga, so now outside my office, I have small birds, small cute birds. I don't see the bird, I see God.
Yeah.
I see a squirrel. When a squirrel comes, I see God. When a dove comes, I see God. When the flowers are on the tree, I see God. So this is the challenge.
Yeah.
How to be able to remain in a state of yoga. What you said just now, Sujan, what you said, we go from this knowledge realization, we go into the samsara. We go to the world.
Yes.
Then what happens, Sujan? Once we go to samsara, what happens?
Our mind gets tangled with the samsara. Yeah.
Then gone. Then this is my car, this is my house, this is my girlfriend. Why my girlfriend is looking at that guy? And then what samosa to eat and which biryani to eat and which butter masala is better at this restaurant or idli dosa. Finished. Then we are gone. How does this matter? How does it matter? Rahul Gandhi, what Rahul Gandhi is telling Narendra Modi and Narendra Modi replying to Rahul Gandhi, and this goes on. If you get stuck in that debate, Sujan, what happens then, Sujan?
Yeah. Nothing happens. We get stuck.
Beautifully said. Yeah. Nothing. It's a complete waste of time, waste of life.
Correct.
And you forget God. You forget the pursuit of God. Who is God? Where is God? What is God? Then we believe in our religion. Our religion tells just do this mantra, do this puja. Do we ask the question, what is the meaning of this puja? Why I must do like this? Blindly we are doing the puja, blindly we are following. So this is the way. I'm saying, I hope I'm not elaborating too much. I don't know whether I'm elaborating too much.
It was a clear explanation. Yeah. So sir, and like I just wanted to understand from your perspective, how is your life after this experience? Like, does your mind, like, will your mind ever trouble you, like, for anything? Like, because there are challenges in life, right? Like, there are many things that happen which affect us. So for a person who has gone through that, how will life be like? Does nothing affect him?
So Sujan, as you're talking to me, can I deny that this is my body? Can I deny this is the body that I am in? Can I deny? No. I am talking to Sujan. That's why even my name is Atma in Ravi.
Yeah.
So I cannot deny I am Atma.
Yes.
So I am explaining clearly, this realization is what? You are not Sujan. You are the soul in Sujan. You are the Atma in Sujan.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Now when the realization comes, what happens? What is the future? What is the feeling? You talked about the mind. So Sujan, have you ever seen the mind? No. Have you seen what is the color of the mind? No. What is the shape of the mind? What is the... Nobody in this world, if you give a prize in your channel, you put a prize, I sponsored by me. Anybody who shows the mind, we will give 1 crore prize. You think anybody can show the mind to us?
No.
No, because the mind cannot be shown. Sujan, why? The mind cannot be shown because the mind does not exist. The mind seems to exist. The mind appears to be because many thoughts, when many thoughts get together, that becomes M-I-N-D. Mind is misery, ignorance, negativity and desires. This is mind. When a person is awakened, when a person gets that spark, then he locks the mind. He blocks the mind. How you lock the mind and block the mind? Just like you build a dam. When you build a dam, then the water will still go, or you can block the water?
We can block the water whenever it is needed, yeah.
When you build a dam.
Yeah.
So an enlightened person, he moves from a state of mind to a state of consciousness. In a state of consciousness, the viveka, the intellect is awake. The intellect will lock the mind. It will block the mind. Now there is no mind. Now only there is thoughts. How the thought appears, Sujan? Thought will appear one by one.
Yes.
Gently. Like in a cable car. How the cable car comes slowly, one by one cable car.
Yeah.
It comes in order. So otherwise, what the mind is doing? Mind is creating fear, worry, stress, anxiety, regret, shame and guilt. The mind is creating depression. For the awakened person, there is no mind. There are only thoughts as he lives in consciousness. The ego, apart from the mind, the next thing for an awakened person, normally the ego was creating 7 monsters. The ego was creating anger, hate, revenge, jealousy, pride, greed and selfishness. For an awakened person, the ego is enlightened. What's the meaning? Ego is enlightened means the awakened person says, I am not I. The awakened person does not say there is no I, but the awakened person says, I am not I. You're getting right what I'm saying?
But the word, I read it from you, that the enlightened ego, but that word seems like it's a contradiction, right, sir? Because ego is by its nature darkness and enlightenment is light, and we are putting it both together.
There is no contradiction. Let's good question, so let us discuss this question. You say the enlightened ego is a contradiction, correct? This is your submission.
It at least sounds like a contradiction, yes.
So Sujan, as long as we are not enlightened, we use the word I.
Yes.
Every day we use the word I.
Yes.
I am Sujan, this is my house, Advaita is my channel, this is mine, that is mine. I, me and mine is the ego is telling, correct?
Correct.
But when the man is realized that I am not this body, I am not the mind, then who am I?
I am the infinite
If
consciousness.
Then how can this channel be mine? How can this house be mine? When I am not the identity which I have as Sujan, when I am not Sujan in reality, then how can I own something that Sujan owns? When Sujan this is Sujan's car, but I am not Sujan, then how can this be my car? So when the ego is enlightened, Sujan, the ego, for example, let me give you an example. I can get angry at you. Normally I can get angry at you.
Yeah.
But when I realize I am not the body, I am the Atma. You are not the body, you are Atma. Your Atma, my Atma, both are Paramatma. If I realize, then will I get angry at you?
No.
Will the right eye get angry at left eye?
No.
Has your right hand ever smashed your left hand?
No.
Because this you know. What you know? This is also my hand, this is also my hand. But let somebody come and put their hand in your pocket and take out your purse. Will you keep quiet?
No.
we cannot keep quiet. Nah. Yeah. We will immediately react.
Yeah.
But the enlightened ego, there's no contradiction. The enlightened ego, so Sujan, just to clarify, the ego cannot go away. Many people say you should kill the ego. Cannot. You cannot kill the ego. Why you cannot kill the ego?
Body is
Till you are alive.
Yes.
Till you are alive, the ego is, but the ego can be enlightened. Then you are, the ego says, I am not I.
So this
I
ego,
hope I have clarified.
yeah. So, and this ego is what we are born with, and every animal, every bird, everything has this identity for itself. And
Absolutely.
And for an enlightened person, when he is awake, he is simply playing a game with this ego. He knows that he is not that, but that he plays a game. And let's say an enlightened person sits in meditation and he completely enters samadhi. At that point, there is no enlightened ego.
No, at that point, there is nothingness.
There is
Correct? When
nothing.
you are in samadhi, what are you?
He
suppose
is
you're
one with
sitting
the
like this.
infinite.
But even in that one with the infinite, he is aware. He is aware that he is in samadhi. That awareness is there. That awareness that I am Sujan, I am in samadhi, and I am not Sujan. I am not dead. You are when a person in samadhi, are they dead or they know they are alive?
They know they are alive, I think. Yeah.
They know they are alive. That if they don't know they are alive, think about it, then they have gone to sleep. Then they have reached the state of sushupti. In sushupti, in the state of sushupti, there is a state of non-apprehension. See, in a Jagrat state, there is apprehension. In Swapna state, there is misapprehension. In Sushupti state, there is non-apprehension. Correct?
Yes.
In Samadhi state, what is there?
There must be apprehension because it should be they have to be conscious there. Yeah.
There is Satchit Anand.
Yes.
You enjoy that state of Satchit Anand, what the Buddha called nirvana. You enjoy that nirvana. So tell me one thing now, you tell me. You please tell me, Sujan, since you are so advanced. If you are enjoying Satchit Anand and if you are enjoying nirvana, then the enlightened ego is there or not there?
Like, if I have to, yeah.
No, wait. Let me put one more question to you. If I am enjoying Satchit Anand, then what's the difference about me enjoying and you not enjoying? Are we both enjoying?
No.
Who's enjoying?
The one who is enlightened.
So who's that one?
That is the ego.
That is the Atma. That is that state of being in that Atmic state. But that awareness is there. I am not the body mind. The body mind is not enjoying the Satchitanand. It is the pure consciousness. What they call this pure consciousness, when the pure consciousness becomes one with the supreme consciousness, with the divine consciousness. Practically, is it becoming one or the connection is there. The connection is there, but it has not yet become one till the moment of moksha, till the moment of death.
Okay. My conception.
I'm giving you for my
understanding of samadhi was since our nature is that infinite consciousness, and one who reaches that state is simply there as what he truly is.
I think.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yes, Sujan, I think this is a wrong. I'm sorry to tell you, but I want your because you're a very intelligent person. I want you to confirm your thought to me here. Let me explain this to you.
I'm just putting out whatever I.
No. With all humility, we are discussing. We are not in an argument. We are discussing, no, Sujan?
Correct.
So let me explain to you. See, this is what, don't mind me telling, and this is something
Absolutely.
I get very upset. I get upset when I have one person working with me. She believes in one Swami. That Swami has gone into Samadhi. Now that Swami is in the ice from last 10 years.
That Swami is in the ice.
In the ice.
Okay.
In freezer from 10 years.
Okay.
So you believe that Swami is in Samadhi from 10 years?
No.
Why do you say that Swami cannot be in Samadhi from 10 years?
Most probably he will be unconscious at that.
He can't be alive, no, Sujan. God has made, the divine has made in such a way. This is where the myth comes. See, the problem, there's a very fine line between the truth and the myth.
Yeah.
I hope you agree with me.
Yeah.
Are you just imagine you go in a state of samadhi. Okay, Sujan. So now you are without food, without water. You will be without food and water for the next 5 years.
No.
How is it possible, Sujan? You know you heard that rule of 3, right? You can breathe, you can avoid breathing for 3 minutes. You can stop drinking water for 3 days. You can stop eating food for 3 weeks. You agree? This is, practically what I'm saying is okay?
Yeah. This is normal.
Oh, one year I don't eat food. You believe I'm in samadhi, 1 year I don't eat food?
No.
I don't excrete, I don't go to toilet for 1 year. You believe this is samadhi?
No.
Now these are the stories we are told. You know, the problem is this now. The problem is that some Babaji is alive from 5,000 years. Now everybody is going after that Babaji who's alive. Now we can believe. Everybody can believe what you want to believe. But then why we have got buddhi? Why we have got intellect? For what we have got intellect? What did Vivekananda say? Vivekananda said, use your intellect. Correct? Am I right? Does he talk a lot about intellect or not?
Correct, yes.
I cannot talk any nonsense to you. If I talk some rubbish, you have to immediately tell me you're talking nonsense.
Correct. Yes.
And please do tell me.
Yes.
If anything I'm talking is nonsense, you please tell me. So go ahead.
Yeah. So now, sir, let us come to the nature of reality and the nature of self. And I wanted to discuss regarding the 4 Mahavakyas from the 4 Vedas. If we look at our scripture, like almost every text, every Upanishad, every Purana is telling us the same thing about the nature of reality. That is what we have been discussing so far. So please take some time to explain for people who might be listening for the first time how can they understand this reality.
So Sujan, I also was trying to get to the reality, correct? So what I did, I bought a lot of books. So I tried to buy Vedas, and then I realized if I buy Veda means first I have to build a new library, such a big library to bring all the Vedas into. So I bought all the Upanishads. What are Upanishads? Upanishads are nothing but the summary of the Vedas, basically.
Summary, yeah.
They call it Vedanta. Why they call it Vedanta? It is the Anta. Veda Anta.
Yeah.
Then when I kept on studying, I learned from Ramana, from Adi Shankara, from Vivekananda. I learned they called it the 4 Mahavakyas.
Yeah, from the 4 Vedas.
What is the meaning? 4 Mahavakyas of the 4 Vedas, which are in the Upanishads. Mahavakya, the word Mahavakya means principal statement.
Yes.
They are principal statements, means this is the principle. Now, the 4 statements are Tattvam Asi, I am Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi.
Yes.
4 statements. So, when I was getting into this, I found the 2 magical words told by Adi Shankara, Neti, Neti.
Yes.
Neti, Neti means you are not the body, you are not the mind. So, not this. Tattvamasi, thou art that. Actually, Sujan, if somebody only studies these 2 words, Neti, Neti, plus 4 Mahavakyas, you don't need to study Upanishad, you don't need to study Vedas.
Yeah.
The nature of reality, what is saying? Tattvam asi, thou art that. You are not the body that dies, Neti. You are not the mind that you cannot find, Neti. Neti, Neti. You are not body, mind. Therefore, you cannot be ego. Neti, Neti. Tattvam asi. You are that. What is that? Soul. S-O-U-L. Spark of unique life. What is that soul? The principal statement, Mahavakya says, I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma means this Atma only is Brahma. This Atma is Paramatma. So when you reach first statement, Tattvam Asi, I am Atma Brahma, then I bring about the next statement, Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi means, therefore, if I am the soul and the soul is the supreme, then I am the supreme.
Yes.
If I am the soul and the soul is the supreme, then I am the supreme. And this leads to the supreme is in all. Prajnanam Brahma. Everywhere. Prabhu is everywhere.
Consciousness.
And this is also beautifully told, consciousness. This is beautifully told in the word Jagat Mithya Brahma Satya. Brahman Satya, Jagat Mithya.
Yeah.
This is also, I think, Vivekananda has spoken a lot about this also, I think.
Yeah, and Shankaracharya's famous saying, Brahma Satya, Jagat Nitya, Jiva Brahma Ivanata.
So people, so people are not, people are confused. What is the meaning? Jagat Mithya means there is no Jagata. No, it does not mean there is no Jagat. It means the Jagat is there.
Yeah.
But this Jagat is an appearance.
Yes.
It is Brahma, it is Paramatma, it is Atma,
Yeah.
it everything. And science has also declared the same thing in their branch of quantum physics and quantum mechanics, that every particle of matter is nothing but energy.
Yes. And I wanted to mention this also. The 2004 Nobel laureate David Gross, what he has said is, it is even provable, it seems now, that time-space reality is not fundamental, is what they are saying with quantum physics and all that. And if we inquire a little bit, this is exactly what Adi Shankara had said. He didn't say that time-space, and Swami Vivekananda called Maya as nothing but time-space reality, and now scientists are saying that time-space reality is not fundamental. That means that consciousness or something is more fundamental than Maya. That is all what Shankaracharya said.
That's why in 2022, the Nobel Prize was given to 3 physicists for their work in quantum physics in 2022.
Yeah, yeah.
And in the Nobel Prize is given means science has accepted.
Yes.
Up to 2022, they were not accepting. Sujan, they were not willing to accept quantum physics and quantum science. Was if you went to some conferences, you are not allowed to quote. You are not permitted to quote quantum physics and quantum science. Because it was mystical.
Yeah.
Now it has been awarded awarded a Nobel Prize.
After some point, it cannot be denied. Yeah, the truth cannot be denied.
Yeah.
So that was.
So this, I was telling you the 4 Mahavakyas to conclude.
Yeah.
If only people contemplate, if you have, see, you need a right guru. If you don't have the right master, Sujan, if you have one master who tells, a master is just like a GPS. If you have wrong GPS, means no chance of you reaching the right destination. The other day, I was looking at a GPS and driving. Suddenly I realized this is wrong. And I did not understand why it is wrong. After 5 minutes, I realized my data had gone off. The GPS had stopped working. So if your GPS is wrong, the Guru's powerful signal, if the GPS is not correct, for me, it was my Guru Dada who showed me the way. That's all he did, nothing more. He told me that way, that path, that is right, that is wrong. Every time he was guiding me on the path. That is very important for you to understand the Mahavakyas. Otherwise, somebody can, you know it.
Yes.
I mean, since you are in the subject so deeply, there are different opinions. Now, I was having a podcast with so many people who are strongly believing Atma okay, Paramatma okay, but Bhagavan is different. Bhagavan is there in Swarga.
Even
you
I
must go to Swarga.
I had this discussion with different acharyas of different philosophies of Dvaita, etc. They don't accept that even at the ultimate level, the soul is one with God. They have a certain different framework for reality. But I wanted
no
to
point in arguing.
I wanted to ask you regarding that also. How can we reconcile that? Like because so many perspectives. Of course, I understand that the paths can be different. There can be yoga, there can be Vedanta, there can be Tantra, there can be different paths. But the truth has to be one and the same for everyone.
Let us discuss. Since you are very well knowledge, let us discuss. Okay. So now, what is the path of Advaita telling? The path of Advaita is telling
one without
that I Yeah, I am not this you and me. Sujan is you. Sujan is looking like you, and I am looking like air. But in reality, you are Atma, I am Atma. We are both energy. We are all becoming part of Paramatma. And science also endorses what we are saying. This
Yes.
whole world is a manifestation of energy.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Let's keep this aside. Let's keep this aside. Now these acharyas who are telling, no, we must have the path of bhakti. We must love God. We must have lot of love for God. We are also telling, you and me also are agreeing, we should love. But that God is a supreme immortal power. I call it SIP, S-I-P. SIP means not Krishna, Shiva, Rama, Jesus, Buddha, Guru Nanak.
Consciousness. Yeah.
You cannot have, see, okay, first point of clarity. If the Krishna consciousness people are telling Krishna is God, if the Shaivites are telling Shiva is God, if the Buddhists are telling Buddha is God, if Guru Nanak's followers are saying Guru Nanak is God, if the monotheistic religions are telling Jesus is God. So first question, Sujan, how many gods are there?
Yeah. So many.
Where are these gods? So and if God, see even the Bhagavad Gita and those who study the scriptures, it is a mixture of non-duality and duality. There is non-duality also in it and there is duality also in it.
Yeah.
The duality is meant to understand the beginning.
Yeah. And the
And
duality
finally-
exists for us when the ego is there in this transactional plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a child, how did you believe in God?
Yeah.
How did I believe in God?
Correct.
We need but to believe that after you die, if I tell you after you die you will go to Swarga. So Sujan, tell me, who will go?
So the subtle body in Vedanta, if we have to technically decipher it, the subtle body is the one that moves from physical body to one physical body.
And it comes back in Punarjanma. It comes to earth in a rebirth.
Yeah, correct.
But where is this? But where is the Swarga? If the subtle body has to go to Swarga, where is the Swarga?
Maybe there are
And if we have to-
higher dimensions for experience to the subtle body itself.
So my point is this, if there is such a higher dimension, it is unknown. Nobody can define it. Therefore, if I have a choice out of my awakening and out of my intelligence, if I have to believe that somewhere like Moon and Mars, there's a planet and we will go to the planet, then my question is, who will go? This body will return to dust.
Correct.
And what the Upanishad has taught us, the mind and ego that appears to be reborn in a new body actually does not exist.
Yeah.
It is out of Karana Sharira, which is the ignorance.
Yeah.
Therefore, in reality, this whole Maya is based on avidya.
Yeah. And
that Swarga is
even if, let's say for argument's sake, even if we say that heaven exists, it exists within Maya, not outside of Maya. So it can be only Maya itself, yeah.
It cannot, there can be nobody, if any acharya is willing to sit on the table without just quoting some scripture and without blabbering away something, if they are willing to discuss on the table, how can we meet God?
Yeah.
Who is God? Where is God? God is inside you. That's why when we listen to scriptures, why does the Bible say the kingdom of God is within you? The God lives in the temple of your heart.
Yeah.
Why the olden scriptures are telling like that? All scriptures, Sujan,
yes.
every scripture,
telling
Guru
the
Nanak
same
says Ekomkar, Mool Mantra, is all Advaita.
Yeah. And even
you study Guru Nanak's-
even in my life, only after I came to Advaita that everything made sense. Until then, it was all about faith and believing in some things. But this was very logical. And for me, another thing was if there is one truth and if there is one absolute truth, then the same thing should be validated even in the United States from a modern spiritual teacher and from the ancient rishis of India. So what Shankaracharya says and what these modern teachers, Eckhart Tolle and different teachers say, they are very congruent. They are not saying different things, but they are simply saying in different ways. But there
They
are
call it conscious. The people who don't talk spiritually call it consciousness.
Yeah.
They call it supreme consciousness.
Yeah.
Science calls it dark matter, dark energy. But it's all the same thing.
Yeah,
No? It's not different.
yeah. The words are different, but it is pointing towards the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was having a podcast with the respected Swamiji of Krishna. Okay, so the Swamiji of Krishna, without any, we are not criticizing
Yeah,
or we
yeah.
are not. But what the respected Swami told me, I don't want Atma become Paramatma, I don't want moksha. I said, Swamiji, then what you want? No, I want to go to Goloka. I want to go to Vaikuntha. I want to go play with Krishna. So can you explain to me, Sujan, can you explain to me how you will go and play with Krishna in Goloka? How many fallacies are there in that?
Yeah.
There's one fallacy or there are many fallacies?
Yeah, there are many. And what I think is, like, if we set that as the ultimate goal, right? If we before the inquiry itself, if we assume that there is a dimension like that and that is the ultimate thing, then like maybe that will become the ultimate destiny for us. But if we sit with no assumption and if we inquire with pure curiosity, then we will find the truth for what it is. Without any assumptions, if we look at reality, then only we can understand reality.
So, yeah. So if you can find the truth from an intellectual point of view.
Yeah.
But if you are blessed and you are awakened, then you realize it. Then that anubhuti cannot be explained in words. That anubhuti is a realization.
Yeah.
But if you want to believe that the Krishna is there in Vaikuntha and you will go play, then see, a person of Advaita, a true Advaita follower,
Yeah.
will first of all see God in one and all.
Yeah. There is.
And that means an order of world peace.
Correct.
But I met a very big Swami in the plane following Dvaita. Very big Swami. Very big Swami means having millions of followers. So I didn't reveal what my belief was. I told the Swamiji, so what do you feel, Swamiji, about this? He leaned forward and he told me, he was a Dvaita follower. He told me, first we should take one gun and we must shoot all these Advaita teachers. All these Advaita teachers, first we must shoot them down. No, I'm just trying to bring about a point that the person of Advaita will respect even Dvaita.
Absolutely.
Because it is
There
only
is
from
one
Dvaita you can... No, only from Dvaita you can go to Advaita.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, there is no way. Why is it called Advaita? Tell me why it is called non-duality. Tell me why.
Because it is pointing us to the name itself is pointing us towards the nature of reality. There is one without the other.
Sujan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sujan, but I want to, if you don't mind me telling you,
Yeah.
one very important thing.
Yeah.
Advaita is not possible without Dvaita.
Yeah.
Non-duality is not possible without duality. Otherwise the word would not have been non-duality. You need duality. You need religion. You need kindergarten. Without kindergarten you cannot go to university.
Yeah.
Without duality you cannot go to non-duality. You agree? You agree? You don't agree?
Yeah,
with me?
for the people, for those of us who are in ignorance, we are throughout our life we are in duality. Yeah, so only.
No, but even the ones who are enlightened, even the ones who are enlightened from duality to non-duality.
Yeah, correct. From
Ramakrishna Paramahansa had to kill Kali to reach from duality to non-duality.
Yeah.
Ramana Maharishi believed in Arunachala. After believing in Arunachala only he was enlightened.
Yeah. Correct.
Even Adi Shankara, all the Shankar Mats are teaching duality and then non-duality.
And the duality in the sense like they are teaching devotion.
That is duality.
Yeah. But
they are teaching this start.
But the philosophy of duality and Dvaita, that like you said, that is totally different again.
No, but what happens, see, when we are talking of duality, we are talking of bhakti, basically talking of how to go
bhakti is, from
it's a
beautiful
bhakti is duality. Bhakti is duality.
Correct.
Bhakti yoga becomes non-duality. Om Namah Shivaya. If you say Om Namah Shivaya, it is duality. But if you say Shivoham,
non-duality. Yeah.
Non-duality. How do you get to Shivoham? How can you go to Shivoham? You cannot go to Shivoham without Om Namah Shivaya.
Yes.
I hope you're getting
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm trying to
correct. This is a step that we need to take.
Yeah, you need. So I tell people, don't try to go to university without kindergarten.
Yeah. Even Vivekananda
Don't try
puts
to
it,
go to-
Dvaita, Vishishta Advaita, Advaita, they are progressive in nature, like people evolve.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, you can evolve or you can go in a roller coaster. Each one's journey is different. But person who is in Advaita will not just discount Dvaita just like he understands importance of Dvaita.
Correct.
And then you reach Advaita.
Yeah. Yes. So, and now let's come to, since we're talking about religion. So, what do you think is the role of religion? Like you said, it is the kindergarten. But when I look at religion, right, like there is a distinction between every other religion and Sanatana Dharma. So I think within Sanatana Dharma, within this culture that we are in, the spiritual aspect was already built into it. So that was how the society was structured, at least back in the days. So what do you think the importance of religion is?
So what is if you see, my understanding of Sanatana Dharma is the ancient eternal faith. Sanatana Dharma means that eternal faith which was there
culture,
before it was there before Hinduism, correct?
Yeah.
It was there before Jainism. It was there before Buddhism.
Yes.
So what happened, Sujan? What happened? What can we presume? What happened? Sanatan Dharma was that time when there was a belief, for example, in the sun god, in the wind god, in the water god. They were believing in the gods of nature, correct? In the beginning, in the good old days.
My understanding of Sanatana Dharma is that it comes from the Vedas. So Vedas are the foundation, and Upanishads are the essence of the Vedas. So for me, Sanatana Dharma, what we are discussing right now, the non-duality, is the foundation of Sanatana Dharma. At least I look at it that way.
Correct. So I'm again asking you, Sanatana Dharma came first or Vedas came first?
I think they are one and the same. Like at least in my understanding.
Yeah, but first the dharma was there before they could write it down. Nah? They could not write it down and then create the dharma, no?
Yeah.
Sanatan dharma must have started as a culture, as an ism, as a kind of a collective belief by a first group of people who existed long ago when that started. So try to imagine with me. So Sujan, just try to imagine you and me were there some 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago. Can you imagine we were there? Let's imagine. You and me are going back. Now suddenly, Sujan, suddenly you and me were there and suddenly our father died. Suddenly our father died. Then what you and me would have done?
We will cry, we will weep for it.
We would have got bewildered. We would have got bewildered. Then we would have looked up at the sky. We would have looked up at the sky. Why we would look up at the sky? Because rain would come, thunder would come. What would we think, Sujan, when we were ignorant at those thousands of years ago? What would we think?
We will think there is something outside of there.
Some power there. Correct, no, Sujan?
Yeah.
Okay. Now another thing, you and me were there 3,000 years ago. We were chota boys at that time. Suddenly in the morning, from nowhere, it's dark, sun comes out from nowhere. Then what we would do? What we would do, Sujan? When the sun comes out, what we would do?
We would be happy. We would celebrate it.
Either we would be happy, we would fold our hands, or we would offer water. We would do something. Just try to imagine. I'm just saying, try to imagine what would have happened thousands of years ago. Thousands of years ago, before any religion was there, only nature was there. Nature was there or nature was not there?
Nature was there.
You think first Jiva came or first Jagat came?
Jagat.
Because if there was no Jagat, then where did the Jiva come?
Yeah, correct.
So this is what the Upanishad is teaching us. This is what the Adi Shankara is teaching us. Sanatana Dharma, according to me, started at that time. At that time when there was no religion, at that time when there were just these forces of nature, and human beings started to question. Now, you and me, jump to another land. And another land, what they believed, they believed that the angel, the fairy of God that came, and the message of God came on a tablet, and they dropped the tablet and something, and the angel went up the mountain and met God and correct, you agree with me? These are two different philosophies.
Yeah, correct.
Are you with me? Are you
Yes.
with me completely or not with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
So Sujan, on one part of the world, there were monotheistic religions, correct, Sujan?
Yes.
And in this part of the world, we got Sanatana Dharma. Is my understanding with you, or are we on a different point?
No, I'm understanding your thought process, but yeah, I understand your thought process, yes.
So I'm saying monotheistic religions we are not talking about. They are on that side of the world.
Yeah.
We are not, today's discussion is not on that.
Yes.
But Sanatana Dharma, it became, let me explain to you what I think. When this Sanatana Dharma, Sujan, started telling people, I am Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, if you had a small child, how do you teach the child the meaning of Atma Brahma? How you teach?
Through stories.
And for stories, you need pictures. And for pictures, you need to have Ganapati, you need to have Shiva, you need snake, you need to put the Chandrama on the head. Correct?
Yes.
We need stories, we need Hanuman. Hanuman carried the mountain. We need that.
Yes.
Now some people who are religious will get offended if they hear, they get offended. Are we intending to offend anybody?
No, not at all.
We are saying that religion had a positive purpose. A positive purpose of trying to make people understand Sanatan Dharma.
Yes.
But it was not possible. Because it was not possible, Hinduism came into being. Hinduism was born as a method to try to teach people Sanatan Dharma. But unfortunately, they became caste system. All those things became a part of life.
Yeah. That is, yeah.
Then what
that
happened?
is a
Then
dark
came
period for the culture. But then if we look at the source of our culture, the source of Sanatana Dharma is the Vedas. And if we see in the Vedas, then the Upanishads, the truth is clearly there. So
actually, I don't know. Honestly, I'm ignorant about this because my realization is more strong than my education on the subject. So you may be having better knowledge in this matter.
It's not like I'm not saying even I have not studied Vedas as such, but the Upanishads, like even you're very well versed with the whatever you're saying, it's all there. It's the Upanishads are clearly saying what we are discussing.
Then I'm asking you a question. So I'm asking you a question. If you want to believe in these ancient texts completely, then people are talking about Shiv Purana. People are talking about Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, all these. Now, then what is real, what is not real? How did Ravana had 10 heads?
I will give you my perspective. You might disagree, but like what I think is reality. This manifested universe is very multidimensional, and these stories of Ramayana, Mahabharata are both literal and figurative at the same time. Maybe like these might be this. I think this is history. Ramayana for me, I think it is history. At the same time, the events of Ramayana was meant to tell a story, and it was meant to give a lesson to each and every one of us. So that is how I see it, at least.
I respect what you say, but what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, true.
What matters is reality today. What matters is my life.
Correct.
What matters is this body is going to die.
Correct.
What matters is what is my purpose on earth.
Correct.
Whether Ramayana happened or did not happen, whether it's a story, it's a reality, it's an argument I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
But what you are trying to get, the source, even the source, it can only be inferred. Because Sujan, written history is how old, Sujan? From how long back do we have written history?
Few hundred years, I think.
No, few thousand. Okay, few thousand.
Okay,
2,000, 3,000 years. So how can you and me discuss something that was prior to written history?
Yeah,
Tell
that
me,
is
how
why
can
I
we
said
discuss?
in my perspective, that's all. It's just my belief. Yeah.
So with all humility, what I'm submitting to you with humility, what happened more than 2,000-3,000 years ago should be out of reference point. But it should not, even believing in Vedas and Upanishads, Sujan, should not be blind belief. What we have talked today is not blind belief.
Yes, correct. when it comes to the spiritual path, there should not be a belief system. That I agree. But I'm saying the Ramayana, whether it happened or not, it is very relevant because the story of Ramayana influences the culture of
beautiful.
India. Yeah, because
No, beautiful.
yeah.
Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita is very good.
Yeah,
I am not saying anything. I am not.
And that is the ideal for society, right? Like for many people, for most people, like you said, they're not interested in Atman, Brahman, this philosophical conversation, but they're interested in the story of Ramayana, and they want to emulate Rama in their life. Like they want to live like him.
Absolutely.
So that becomes a
Absolutely.
great moral, benchmark for the society, I think. Yeah.
Unfortunately, while that is very good, that will never take you to God realization.
Yes.
That will never take you to moksha. The only way to God realization is self-realization. And the only way to self-realization is the Mahavakyas. This
Correct.
will take you to
Upanishads.
God.
Yeah.
If you want God, if you want to attain God, sorry to say, this is the way.
Yeah,
There is no other way.
that is correct. Ultimately, we'll have to go beyond all the duality if we have to attain the absolute. Yeah.
If I read the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata also, I will pick up the non-duality from it and
Correct.
appreciate it from that point of
Yeah,
view.
and we'll have to meditate upon it, and yeah.
Yeah. Like Krishna, when Krishna says the Atma is birthless, is deathless, fire cannot burn it, water cannot drench it. Krishna says, I am in each one of you. If you take all those things from the Bhagavad Gita, it is exactly what the Upanishad is telling.
Correct. Yeah, and like we cover a lot about, most of our listeners are professionals, entrepreneurs, businessmen. Like, what can they take away from all this? How will this help their life if they want to? How can this knowledge help them?
What we are talking is 100% practical advice for a good life. Let us conclude with very clear understanding. Okay? Point number 1. Every human being in this world wants only one thing. Whether you want to become cricketer or director, or you want to become president or prime minister, you want to get married, or you only want one thing. You want to be happy.
Yes.
And happiness is not pleasure. Pleasure comes from self-gratification, sense gratifications. Eyes, nose, ears, tongue and skin. This can only give you momentary pleasure. Like a child wants ice cream. We want a ball and a doll. Why one man does not want a ball? Why a man wants a Ferrari car? Because our pleasures keep changing as we grow.
Yes.
Success is not happiness, because successful people are committing suicide. Rich people are unhappy. Therefore, it's a myth. Therefore, today's discussion is telling us, today's discussion is telling us, one, what is the purpose of our life? The purpose of our life is to find out who am I? Why am I here? This is called enlightenment. Enlightenment means being awakened to the truth, overcoming ignorance. To match these two subjects, every human being wants happiness, and spirituality is enlightenment. Happiness has 3 peaks. Happiness has got achievement, fulfillment, enlightenment. With happiness, if you want achievement, money, name, success, fame, you will get pleasure. If you go to the next step of fulfillment, you will get peace. If you go to the 3rd step of enlightenment, you discover the purpose of your life. You will be liberated from mind and ego and body, and you will be free from the triple suffering on earth and from rebirth. Therefore, any businessman, any intelligent man listening to this podcast must understand, what is the purpose of my life? Does my life have a purpose, or is my life a circus? If my life is a circus, I can jump like a clown up and down. But then I will die. Inquiry, after I die, where will I go? Will I come back to earth? What if I am born in a slum? What if I am born as a dog? When we ask such questions, is it even possible for me to be born as a dog? This is the inquiry that leads us from the peak of achievement to fulfillment to enlightenment. Therefore, this understanding, Neti Neti Tattvamasi, I am Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, It is the ability to realize I am God. It is the ability to realize I am not the body that suffers, not the mind and ego that looks at the mirror and says it's me.
Yes.
I am not this, I am that. This is a practical way of living a life without fear, worry, stress, anxiety, regret, shame and guilt. It is a way to live without anger, hate, revenge, jealousy, pride, greed and selfishness. It's a way to live in Sat Chit Anand. It's a way to enjoy pleasure. It's a way to live in peace. It's a way to achieve purpose. I never tell the people who listen to me to give up pleasure. You don't have to give up pleasure. Because when there is realization, there will be automatic renunciation.
Yeah.
You don't have to force yourself to not eat this and not to do this. Nothing is bad in this world. Everything is beautiful. Because everything is a manifestation of the divine.
Correct.
But if you believe the lie, God lives in the sky, then you will live and die. You will look up at the sky and you will cry. But you will not understand why. And you will not discover who am I. So the people listening, intelligent people in the modern world, they have to stop. And they have to ask the question, what is the way to happiness? Two, how can I reach a state of eternal bliss? And if they match these two things, they will learn the path of spirituality which takes to enlightenment, which overcomes ignorance, gives us Sat Chit Anand, gives us eternal bliss. Therefore, practically, this is the way to live and to be happy.
Beautifully said. Thank you, sir.
I hope it is making sense in all possible ways.
It made sense. It made sense. And in like you mentioned Aparoksha Anubhuti of Adi Shankara previously. So in that, Shankaracharya mentions a very intriguing phrase. He says, when the cause exists in the effect, but the effect does not exist in the cause, the causation of the cause is lost. What he's saying is, if we take clay and the pot, and if in that example, the clay exists in the pot obviously, but there is nothing called as the pot in the clay. So just like this, the infinite consciousness is what there is, and the universe is an appearance in it, and there is nothing called, and the universe is simply a name and the form. And he says that a Jnani, an enlightened one, sees this and he realizes this. So will an enlightened being literally, like, yeah, I know the answer to this, but I still want you to answer. So for an enlightened being, there is simply oneness in everything. He simply sees himself in everything. Is this how we can put it?
I will answer your thing in 2-3 small ways.
Yeah.
Quickly, I will answer.
Yeah.
An enlightened person understands Purnamadam, Purnamidam, Purnada Purna, Mudacchatai, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnamevavashishatai. That means the enlightened person understands that first there was the Supreme Immortal Power. This Supreme Immortal Power came as Ishvara. The Ishvara manifested as Jagat. And then in the Jagat, it manifested as Jiva. The enlightened person understands there is Prabhu in you, in me, in the butterfly, in the bee, in the tree, even in the mountain and the sea. Every particle of matter, even science agrees, if you take a particle of dead matter and put it under the microscope, there are electrons and there are nucleus which is moving, correct?
Yes.
So this is not some crap that you and me are talking.
Yes.
We are talking scientific. Spirituality is a science of the spirit. So my way of saying it for the common man to understand, 50 years back in Bollywood there's a movie. The movie said, Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Satyam Shivam Sundaram means Satya ye hai. Hindi is okay, right? To close in a few words of Hindi.
Yeah, no problem.
Satya ye hai ke Shiv hi sundar hai. Means the truth is that all the divinity is the beauty that we see. What you said, cause, effect. Common man cannot understand what you said. That pot and clay, right? But because for a common man, very difficult. What you tried to say, The pot comes from the clay.
Yes.
But if you take out the clay, then there is no pot.
Yes.
But in the clay, there is no pot.
Correct.
The clay by itself is clay. From the clay, we can make the pot and the plate and the statue.
Yes.
There is no ring in the gold. But there is gold in the ring.
Yes.
Whether it's a ring or the bangle or the chain or the necklace, there is gold in everything. So when we realize the enlightened person does not see the necklace, the chain, and the bangle and the ring, the enlightened person sees gold in everything.
Yes.
So the enlightened person does not see the pot and the plate and the statue. The enlightened person sees the clay. What is the clay?
God.
To somebody looking at this podcast, you will say, what am I wearing? They will say, you're wearing a t-shirt. Enlightened person will say, you're wearing not t-shirt, you're wearing dhaga. An enlightened person further will say, you're not wearing dhaga, you're wearing cotton. A still enlightened person will say, you're not wearing cotton, you're wearing this. So what is the ultimate cause of this t-shirt I'm wearing?
God.
It is God. It is sip. Sip. God is a very dangerous word. It is the Supreme Immortal Power. Sip. In every particle of what I am wearing and you are wearing.
Yeah.
In the Panch Tattva, the 5 Tattvas of earth, water, air, fire and space, there is nothing but energy. So when people I tell them this song, I say, Ramavadh mein, Kashi mein Shiv, Kanha Brindavan mein, Daya karo Prabhu, dekhu inko, Daya karo Prabhu, dekhu inko, Har ghar ke aangan mein, Radha Mohan Sharanam. A truly enlightened person sees G-O-D in a D-O-G. A truly enlightened person sees God in everything.
And himself.
God as Sip. Yeah, he is nothing.
Yeah.
The truly enlightened person says, मैं क्या हूँ कुछ भी नहीं, सब कुछ तुम ही हो प्रभु, तुम बिन मैं क्या कुछ भी ना, लहर एक हूँ मैं प्रभु, आता मैं जाता प्रभु, तू है समुंदर सारा, तुझ में समाता प्रभु, तुझ ही से मैं आता, कुछ भी ना. You are the ocean, I am a wave, what am I?
Yeah.
I am nothing.
I'm nothing.
So the enlightened person, that's why Namdev, you must have heard the story of Namdev, no? Namdev, he says, पत्ते पत्ते में है झांकी भगवान की, पत्ते पत्ते में, पत्ते पत्ते, every leaf, पत्ते पत्ते में है झांकी भगवान की, अनुभूति हो गई उसने पहचान ली, नामदेव ने पकाई रोटी कुत्ते ने उठाई, पीछे घी का कटोरा लेके वो भागे, बोले सूखी तो ना खाओ प्रभु, प्रभु घी तो लेके जाओ, बोले सूखी तो ना खाओ प्रभु घी तो लेके जाओ, क्यों रूप तू अपना छुपा रहे, जो दिखता है वो नहीं, सच में प्रभु है तू ही, मुझे एहसास हो गया है भगवान ये. What did Namdev say? Namdev, the dog took the roti and ran away. Namdev went running. Hey, Prabhu, 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 let me put butter in the roti and give you. That is the enlightened person.
He saw the reality in
Who's,
yeah.
He saw G-O-D in the D-O-G.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope I've answered your question,
Yes.
but in a long form.
No problem. It was a beautiful answer. Thank you, sir. Thank you for sparing your time. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you for trying to take this message of Advaita to all.
Yeah.
I think that's why I was happy to do this podcast with you. I saw that you are so committed to this Advaita. Your name of the channel itself is Advaita, so I was impressed and I thought we must have a discussion, and I hope this will reach people and people are able to open their real eyes to realize the truth.
Correct. Definitely it will help. And I wish to meet you when I come to Bangalore. I stay nearby. So
Please.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be very happy to meet you.
We'll
whenever
have a
you
live conversation next time. Yeah. Namaste.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sujan.